Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about lone working and the 3 risk categories that health and safety managers need to keep in mind. It's all about P.E.T, people, environment, and tasks. So let's dive right in. First up, let's talk about people risks. It's about the dangers we might face when interacting with others while working alone. So who's most affected by this? Anyone whose job involves regular interactions with the public, like social workers, utility workers, and others, is at increased risk of violence and aggression. Sometimes it's not just a specific target, it could be anyone experiencing emotional distress. So, how can we manage the risk of violence and aggression? Conflict management training is essential. It helps you identify potential conflict situations before they escalate and teaches you how to remove yourself from danger. A solid risk assessment focusing on your working environment and operations can also make a big difference. For example, setting up a warning system for aggressive clients or having a policy for working in isolated areas. Now let's talk about environmental risks. This is about dealing with the elements while working alone. So, who's most at risk here? Those whose job involved working outdoors for most of the time, like maintenance, utility, and construction workers, are more likely to face these hazards. So, how can you manage the weather risks? Clothing is crucial. Make sure you have waterproof, well fitting, and breathable gear for wet or cold conditions. In certain sectors, high visibility clothing is a must. Also, your team needs to take regular breaks to warm up when it's cold or wet to prevent stress and slips. Last but not least, let's talk about task related risks. This involves the specific hazard associated with manual roles, especially when working alone. Working at heights, handling dangerous substances, dealing with moving parts and electricity, these are all potential risks. But what's critical here is having a solid risk assessment, proper training, and not being complacent. So, how do we manage these task related risks? It all comes back again to a thorough risk assessment. Identify hazards, assess risks, and put proper controls in place. Keep records and review the controls regularly. It's about being proactive and vigilant. Now let's talk about an added potential risk factor that affects an aging workforce. As more people continue working past 65, there's a higher chance of health conditions arising. That's why we need to make allowances and support an age-diverse workforce. So, how can you manage the risk of underlying health conditions? Consider age-sensitive risk assessments, offering opportunities for workers to move to more suitable roles. Foster an open culture where workers feel comfortable discussing their health conditions. It's about ensuring everybody's safety. That's it for managing risks for lone workers using the P.E.T approach. Remember, safety is everyone's responsibility, especially when working alone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.